We are live. All right, my name is Bryce Grimes, and this is my presentation over the legality of contracts. Here's my audience. She will be helping me today, my grandmother, Billy Crockett. Hello, my name is Bryce Grimes, and in today's video for business communications, I will discuss the legalities of contracts. Contracts play a giant role in businesses every day in every industry. Whether or not contracts are legal, however, is an important matter to be addressed. In my presentation, I will include the elements that make a contract valid, contract enforceability, what makes a contract illegal, and the statute of frauds. This is my table of contents, what I'll be talking about today. So what is a contract? A contract is a promise for the breach of which a remedy is provided by the law. They can be both written and spoken, not in writing. Contracts are generally governed by a common law which varies from state to state. As a result, contracts for the sale of goods are governed by Article 2 of the UCC, the Uniform Commercial Code. The objective theory of contracts judges the terms of a contract at a reasonable person standard. Objective facts include what a party said while entering a contract, how the party acted or appeared, and circumstances surrounding a transaction as well. Next, there are 4 elements required for a contract to be valid. First, there's an agreement that includes an offer and an acceptance. Second is consideration, meaning something that holds value is either received or promised. Third, a contract must have capacity, where both parties are competent and able to make their own decision when entering a contract. The final element is legality. A contract's purpose must be legal and follow the law. I will now discuss contract enforceability. A valid contract contains the 4 requirements of a contract that I discussed: agreement, consideration, capacity, and legality. A voidable contract is valid, but one or more parties are able to void the contract. A contract with a minor is an acceptable example of voidable contract, and the minor can disaffirm at their choice. An unenforceable contract is a valid contract that cannot be enforced due to an existing defense or statute. My bad. A void contract, on the other hand, is never a valid contract. Examples include making contracts while gambling, or if a court determines a contract was made with a mentally incompetent person. Contracts cannot be made in the following situations and would become illegal: contracts against public policy that violate antitrust statutes and unreasonable covenants. Contracts for competing in the sale of ongoing business or employment contracts. Contracts for committing a crime, including hiring hitman, and contracts involving usury, which is lending money at unreasonably high rates of interest. Finally, the statute of frauds was developed in 17th century England to prevent hiring third-party witnesses, to prevent fraud on courts, and to require written contracts. Examples of contracts that must be in writing to be legal and enforceable include prenuptial agreements for pre-marriage, contracts for the sale of land, surety and guarantee contracts for co-signing loans, contracts for the sale of goods over 500, and contracts that cannot be performed within 1 year. And cool fact, the United States is one of the few countries that still has a statute of frauds for contract. I've included a graphic statistic. I'll talk about this later. And here is my works cited page for my references of this project. So in conclusion, I have discussed the legalities of contracts, the elements that make a contract valid, contract enforceability, what makes a contract illegal, and the statute of frauds. According to a study at Deloitte, the world's largest accounting firm, 91% of people sign legal and conditional contracts after barely giving them a glance. We need to be aware of terms in a deal and be able to determine if a contract is ethical or legal before making agreements. Once again, my name is Bryce Grimes, and I hope everyone learned something new in my video today. Thank you.